Once upon a time, in a small cottage at the edge of a village, lived a poor widow and her only son, Jack. They had nothing left in the world except one old cow, which gave them just enough milk to survive. But one day the cow stopped giving milk, and Jack's mother sighed sadly, saying,
"Oh, Jack, we have no money, no food, and even our cow has failed us. We must sell her in the market."
So early the next morning, Jack set off with the cow. On the way, he met a strange old man with twinkling eyes who said,
"Good morning, young boy. Where are you taking this cow?"
Jack replied,
"To the market, sir. I must sell her to buy food for me and my mother."
The man reached into his pocket and pulled out 5 shiny beans.
"These are magic beans. Plant them tonight, and by morning, wonders will appear. I'll trade them for your cow."
Jack's eyes sparkled with excitement.
Magic beans? That sounds amazing. Deal.
Without a second thought, Jack handed over the cow and rushed home. But when he showed the beans to his mother, her face turned red with anger.
"Foolish boy,
She cried,
you gave away our only cow. For beans? We can't eat beans."
In her rage, she threw the beans out of the window, and Jack went to bed hungry and sad. The next morning, Jack woke up to a shadow outside his window. He ran to look and gasped. Overnight, the beans had grown into a giant beanstalk, so tall it reached the clouds. "Mother," he shouted, "look, a beanstalk reaching to the sky. I must climb it and see where it leads." Before his mother could stop him, Jack began climbing higher and higher until he disappeared into the clouds. At the top, Jack found himself in a strange land above the clouds. In the distance stood a giant's castle, glittering in the sunlight. Jack crept toward it and knocked. A giant's wife opened the door.
"Good day, madam.
Jack said politely.
I am very hungry. Could you spare me some food?"
The kind woman looked around nervously, then gave him bread and milk. But suddenly the ground shook with heavy footsteps. Boom! 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 The giant had returned. His voice thundered, "Fee, fi, fo, fum! I smell the blood of an Englishman. Be he alive or be he dead, I'll grind his bones to make my bread." Jack trembled in fear, but the giant's wife whispered.
"Hush, husband, there is no boy here."
The giant sniffed around, then sat down to eat. On the table lay a bag of gold coins. After his meal, the giant fell asleep with a thunderous snore. Quietly, Jack crept forward, grabbed the bag of gold, and ran as fast as he could down the beanstalk. His mother's eyes widened when she saw him.
"Jack, where did you get this?"
Jack smiled proudly.
"From the beanstalk, mother. There's more up there."
Days later, Jack climbed the beanstalk again. This time, he saw a magical goose that laid golden eggs and a golden harp that played sweet music by itself. Jack tried to take them, but suddenly the harp cried out, "Master! Master! The boy is stealing me!" The giant roared awake. "Thief! You won't escape me this time." Jack ran with the harp and the goose, his heart pounding. The giant's footsteps shook the ground as he chased Jack all the way to the beanstalk. "Mother!" Jack shouted as he slid down. "Bring me an axe!" Just as the giant began climbing down, Jack swung the axe with all his strength. Crack! The beanstalk shook. One more strike, and the beanstalk came crashing down. The giant fell to the ground below, never to be seen again. From that day on, Jack and his mother were no longer poor. With the bag of gold, the goose that laid golden eggs, and the magical harp, they lived in comfort and happiness. His mother hugged him and said proudly,
"My son, you were brave, and your courage has changed our lives."
Jack smiled and replied,
"Sometimes we must climb high to find the treasures life is hiding for us."
And so, Jack the poor boy became Jack the fortunate, living happily ever after with his mother. Lesson: courage, curiosity, and determination can turn even the poorest life into one full of wonders.